Okay, so let me run through my thoughts. So let's talk about Until Dawn, right? The movie that said, what if Groundhog Day had more Wendigos and fewer rules? All right, so just quick rundown. Five friends return to a site where this girl, Clover's sister, vanished. Stalked, killed, and then it resets. Um, it's a cool little movie that plays off of the game that has a really interesting mechanic where I teeter on whether or not I should spoil too much because there's some enjoyment as from understanding how the rules of the movie are going to play out. Uh, so I'm going to freestyle this a little bit so you guys can get get my authentic thoughts on this. I think I had some cliff notes I could look at. So this movie, if there's one thing I could say about this movie, it's this movie is scary fun, right? And it's self-aware about it. It doesn't just dip its toes into the horror genre pool. It kind of cannonballs into it. Uh it's a little self-awareness on everything that it does, right? It's like a horror movie mixtape also. If you are a horror fan and you go into this, you kind of know the rules of a horror movie. If you got a slasher, don't walk off by yourself. Supernatural thriller, don't stay away from the shadows, right? A monster movie, watch out for drool from the ceiling. And this movie dips its toes in all of those genres. There's part slasher, there's part monster, there's part Final Destination, and it does it in a kind of fun way. Um, from the jump, the movie doesn't really waste much time. I'm really enjoyed the pacing of it. I mean, like, bodies start hitting the floor even before you can remember who's who, right? Like 20 minutes in, people are getting got. And I was like, oh my gosh, two people already met their maker. And that's what I call the economy of terror. It was like really, really lean on wasting time on too much setup and instead going into the premise of the story, which is way more interesting. You don't really care as much about the characters as much as you care about the situation that they're in. Um, And I like that because just when you think you've seen it all with horror movies, Until Dawn hits reset and shows you something really wild. Um, there's a really interesting mechanic that I thought was really clever. Um, and it's how they're able to dip their toe in every genre of horror film. Um, and I really, really enjoyed them not just playing with the self-awareness of the rules of the different horror films, but collectively amalgamating that into a movie uh that was just really fun to watch. Now, what can I say about the performances? I guess the girl who plays Clover, her name is Ella. She's kind of a standout. She is kind of a standout in this movie. Um, not because she makes smart choices, no, no, but because she does what she does like a champ, and she keeps charging back in like it's just been a casual inconvenience, like Fisk would say. Um, and Ji Young Yu's Megan, she's kind of cool too. She's kind of cool too. She has this scene that's just straight up chilling, right? She somehow makes being the group's mystic weirdo feel grounded in a way. Um, but the cast does what's asked, right? All throughout this movie, the cast did what they were supposed to do, which was a lot, right? They had to crawl through dirt, they had to scream like the rents do, they had to get murked. Props to the makeup and the effects team who made sure each murking had its own little flair. Like, things go from bad to worse. Veins popping, hair falling, like eyes sunken. It's gross and it's great. Atmosphere wise, The visuals and the production design are on point. Everything feels claustrophobic, eerie, and just a little bit off. It's like a haunted version of Dave and Buster's. The sound design, nerve wracking. The camera work, disorienting in the best way. Every cut to this creepy hourglass makes you clench your popcorn like it's a stress ball. And shout out again to Peter Stormare, who slides through this movie like your shady uncle who knows way too much about the family curse. He's not just chewing scenes, he's licking the plate clean, eating. If I had to talk about what's bad, I'm gonna be honest. The plot is like trying to solve a Rubik's cube while you're drunk and blindfolded. You'll get moments where you think it makes sense. Then the movie throws a monster nurse or something pickaxe man at you and just laughs in your face. It's just, and the characters, like, most of them are written like NPCs in a horror sim. Outside of Clover, names vanish from memory faster than these kids getting murked. Dialogue feels like it's assembled from a starter pack of horror movie teen banter. Half the time you're like, why did you do that? And the movie's like, because reasons. And then pacing, right? The movie moves like it's trying to win a speed run competition. There's barely time to breathe between all of the events. It's thrilling, yes, but it also means the emotional beats, like Clover's search for her sister Melanie, they don't really land. Like, I don't really care about Melanie at all. Melanie's disappearance is supposed to be the heart of the story, but that heart is racing so fast you never get to feel it beat. And there are reasons where it feels like some of the stakes get undercut. Like, yeah. Oh, and somehow these guys just conveniently find flashlights, right? You got to go through a dark hallway. They didn't have flashlights, but all of a sudden, everybody's got one. Turn it on. Like, even in scenes where nobody found the flashlight, somebody got these kids a headlamp sponsorship. So, overall, Until Dawn, it's chaotic, it's bloody, it's a horror buffet, and I actually want more. I can have seconds. It's fast. It's dumb in the most entertaining way. It blends genres like a horror smoothie. This is the movie you throw on when you want a good scream and a few laughs, not when you're in the mood for nuance or logic. Gamers who love the PlayStation Classic, they're going to feel like they walked right into their console. If you've never touched a controller, you're still going to vibe with it. As long as you're cool with plot holes, you could drive a chainsaw through, you'll have fun. Is it perfect? Nah. Is it fun, messy, spooky entertainment? And sometimes makes you laugh? Then yeah, this is the movie. This is the movie that you really want to check out. But yeah, overall, I thought Until Dawn was a really fun movie. I think that, does it deserve a watch in theaters? I think if you're like a horror buff and you're really looking for a new experience or a fun experience, or you just watch horror B movies just for the fun of it, this is a movie you should go check out in theaters. Definitely pull up. If you're into nuance, deep horror, this is more like Final Destination, but if the Reaper was drunk and hit shuffle on horror tropes. This is a little bit different. But yeah, I'm curious what you guys. I can't even see your comments right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and see what you all are saying in the comments. Without trying to spoil everything that happens, I'm definitely trying to spare you guys from spoiling. You know what? I'm just cap. Why are you capping? Why is you capping? Won't you stop your lying? You get so excited. Let's see. Until Dawn only came out. Oh, Accountant 2 only came out today, like 5 minutes ago, UK. Bro, you know what it is. You know what it is. You know I'm seeing this movie before it drops. You know that already. So I was able to see Accountant 2. When did I see Accountant 2? I saw it like a week ago. I saw it like maybe last week. And Until Dawn I saw earlier this week. So they had a yellow flag. It was a yellow flag because that's how I feel about when they give me the screening the week of release. Like if you're super confident, I'm gonna see it like 2 to 3 weeks out. But the week of release, you're like, I don't know. And I understand Sony is hit or miss, right? This is Sony, but this is more, I guess, The Last of Us than Craven. You know what I mean? A little bit closer to the source material, and that's fun. Fernando says, I love horror movies. Until Dawn was dope. You saw it already too? That's fast. You think I'm fast? Look at Fernando. Wow, Batman was almost canceled. That is crazy. It is. Yeah. Comics was not doing good in the 80s. Is it as good as House of Wax? I would say so. It's fun. It's fun. It's a fun little movie, but it's good in a different way. Like if I was gonna give it out of 5, I would give it a 3.5. So I haven't published my written review yet. So I've been I could sometimes forecast what my final score was gonna be because I use this very interesting system for reviewing. Where I don't always know what my score is going to be. I use a metric where I critique movies based off of a few different categories. Now, for those of you who go to TMB, the website, I'll show real quick what we kind of usually do and give you guys, where's it at? Oh. So what we usually do on TMB, do I have any reviews up here? Recent ones? Yeah, here's one for The Last of Us. So what I usually do is I break down my reviews into all these different categories. And to me, as a critic, and as for any writers who I'm mentoring as they're growing in their critic career, I think it's the honest way to help evaluate film. A lot of people, they walk out of movies and they're like, 1 to 10, what is it? And they're like 7. And I'm like, based on what? Right? Like, so I been using this metric for God, like over a decade now, to critique films where we actually try to analyze films based off of the different aspects of filmmaking, acting, cinematography, the plot, the setting, watchability, and rewatchability. And then once you score all of those aspects of filmmaking on a 1 to 10, average it out. And for me, when I do this, like I compare acting. When I say it's a 10, I'm talking like DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street. I'm talking like James Cameron in writing anything. I'm talking like a 10 is it's almost an unattainable number. I have to have some integrity with my scoring. So having a 10 to me is like you've done something almost otherworldly with your films. Have I given out 10s to movies? Yes, I have. Do I give them out often? I probably can think of a handful in my entire 15-year critic career where I've given a movie a perfect 10. So like it's a tough hill, but that's where I'm going with it. Even with The Last of Us, I gave it a 9, mainly because everybody was really acting really well. But then can I poke holes at it? Can I be like, oh, did I love Ellie's performance? Kinda, right? You know what I mean? And if I could poke holes at it, then you're not a 10. If I sit there and I'm like, everybody's flawless, you're a 10. I think to me, and everybody has their own opinion on what a 10 is. In my mind, and I tell this to my wife all the time, I think Titanic is a 10. Right? The James Cameron movie with Kate Winslet, Leonardo DiCaprio. I can't think of a single actor in that movie who was bad. Like, I can't think of a single one who didn't give us a 10 in that movie. I can't think of a single cinematography moment or a visual effect that didn't deserve a 10. I can't think of anything in the writing that just was left unresolved or didn't make sense or was foreshadowed and just didn't go anywhere later. I thought everything about the setting, from the practical filmmaking to the themes, were a 10. Watchability, 10. Rewatchability. We already know what Titanic did when it was in theaters. People were practically living in the movie theater because they kept watching the movie and repeat. They were like just dropping 50s at the door at the movie theater on their way in the morning and then leaving at night. It was a 10. And everybody has their 10, but for me, it's like, that's how I do my scoring. And I kind of rambled there. So I don't know exactly where I'm going to land with Until Dawn until I actually sit down and fill out this metric. But, you know, I have a rough idea. Like, the acting is not going to get a high number, but the visual effects will, right? The plot, no. Setting and theme will. Watchability will. Watchability might even get higher than normal. So yeah, that's how I do that. This movie, let me make myself visible. This movie was better than both Happy Death Day movies. Sure. Is that scary as Goosebumps? Yeah. Yeah, it'll be even a little scarier than Goosebumps. I promise you that. For moments. But then it balances it out by, because it's got a few different things it's trying to do with humor and fun and lightheartedness. It balances it out. I love the amount of gore in it. There is a healthy amount of gore in Until Dawn. Not a starter pack. I love when the movies run fast. I expect plot holes in these kind of films. I don't think there were really, but yeah, no, there was a lot of plot holes. I'm gonna be quiet. I take that back. Cap. Yeah, all I had to do was say Thunderbolts. Now you sticking around, right? Now you sticking around, huh? That's what I got to. This is what I got to do. This is what I have to do. I saw Titanic once. It broke my damn heart. I understand. It's like some movies I see once and I love them. I think they're excellently made movies. I'll never watch them again. I will never watch The Passion of the Christ again. I saw it once. I sat in theaters with it. I cried. I smiled. I prayed, and I will never watch it again. Excellent movie. Excellent. Rose, she knew she had room on that door, whatever it was. Self-preservation, homie. You know how that go. Have you watched Andor? I'm gonna save this comment for later. I'll start you. I'm gonna save this comment for later and we're gonna talk about it. What were my other topics for tonight? But yeah, this was a good one. Until Dawn, I had fun with the Until Dawn movie. I would I think I liked it a lot. It was a good little movie to watch after watching The Accountant 2 and The Amateur. I've been on my movie review kick lately. I hope you guys have had time to go ahead and check out my reviews. If you haven't, I do have a review for The Amateur already up. The Woman in the Yard, The Accountant 2. Did I publish my review? I think I did. I think it went live right before this video. And you guys got my Last of Us review. So this is where it starts. I'm going to cut this up and make a longer video for you guys later. What else did we have? I had other topics, right?